Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron and Jillian Shriver.
I wish I was 21.
Welcome to the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
Hey, all right, guys. I'm excited. 2 in 1 day. I've never done this before, and it's going to be fun. This morning, we did a podcast with Corey Smith. We'll have that uploaded tomorrow. And tonight, we're going to be even a better one. So we're going to test the audio, kind of make sure everything's sounding good before we hit record and start rolling. So, oh, yeah. I was say, I got you on camera now. You're here today. Yeah, I had to do a solo episode earlier. That was fun. We sound good?
You're good.
All right, that's why I was rambling. I was making sure. All right. Hello and welcome everyone to season 6 of the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast, a place where we connect memories to melodies. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver.
And I'm your co-host, Jillian Shriver.
Our mission tonight is to provide a platform for motivated singer-songwriters, passionate fans, or someone who's making a difference in and around the music community. We hope everyone listening leaves inspired with a positive outlook on life and begins connecting their own memories to melodies. Tonight, we are presented by our good friends at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, and promos. Find them at arlorevolution.com. One tree planted. For every 1,000 downloads of the show, we plant a tree with one tree planted. Download the show on your favorite podcast app. And then pod decks. Pod decks are the hottest tool to get your next great interview. Unique interview questions in the palm of your hand. Our on-screen sponsors tonight are Art on a Higher Wire by Joelle, original and custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And Shed Services. At Shed Services, we offer a full range of maintenance services depending on your needs. Find them at shedservices.com. It's always a tongue twister. I love it, though. Looking for ways to support or sponsor Gainin' Fast on Memphis, and please head over to our Patreon page. Tiers are just $1. If Patreon is something you can't do at the time, the next best way to support the show is to like, share, review, and subscribe anywhere you can find it. Remember, you can join us live every Monday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook and YouTube, where you can interact with the show, ask questions, or join in on the live chat with your favorite guest. Remember to visit gainingfastonmemphis.com for concert reviews, photos, playlist links, and more. Tons of great stuff up there from this weekend. We're going to be posting day 3 of Country Thunder. We were out. That's why I sound the way I am. I'm on like 6-7 hours of sleep in 3 days. I was in the middle of a cornfield somewhere in Iowa, and it was a great time. So I really enjoyed it. And I think we're going to be at every Country Thunder here on out for a little while. So we're going to see what happens with that. But we're excited for tonight's show. I can't read my own handwriting or my own typing. Tonight we welcome in Dawson Edwards for episode 133. The Raised on Red Georgia native has been grinding in music since a young age. Now this singer-songwriter has his first major album cut, many shows under his belt, and is ready to take on the country music world. Tonight we are honored to discuss the melodies and memories that make up his journey. And we're going to welcome Dawson on. Did we lose him?
I was going to say, I thought I saw the...
I think we lost him.
I thought I saw the
video go by.
Our staging go.
So this is the part where we get to wait till he comes back on, and we're gonna see what happens. Hopefully we get him back on, and then I get to edit it and post tomorrow. So it'd be awesome. Yeah, something must have happened. He must have. I don't know if he
well, he's on his cell phone. So what do you? I bet he got a call. That always happens. Like if you get a message or like if you get a call or something.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It disconnects you.
He'll come back up. So, hey, guys, how you guys doing tonight? Just a couple minutes. We'll wait till he comes back on. Yeah, check out our websites, gainingfastonmemphis.com if you guys haven't yet. Some cool stuff. We brought out one of our newest members, Brooke, this weekend to help us out with some reviews. Country
Brooke's
Thunder.
In the chat. Brooke, I think Brooke's watching.
Yeah, she did great. Here's Dawson. All right, let's bring him back on. Let's see if we can get him up and running. Make sure it's working. I might have to refresh. Can you hear us, bud?
Oh, hold on. I got to mute it.
Hey, can you hear us, buddy? Let's see. Let me refresh real quick. Just a little bit, if you don't mind, buddy.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I've heard y'all the whole time. I don't know what happened.
That was so weird. That was so weird. Do you mind backing your camera up? I don't know why it's like zoomed in. I got from like the nose to the chin, and that's it.
My bad.
This is what
happens. This is what happens when you're on a cell phone here.
That's all good. Actually, we'll roll with that right there. We're good. We're good with that. I like that. So what's up, buddy? I'm so glad I got to run into you on Saturday. What's
Why
up?
don't you do 3?
3 what?
Can you do 3? Like pull me down so you can do. You have.
Well, even if I pull you down,
is it not going to stretch?
No, it won't. Cause I could do this a little bit, but not much.
Okay.
He'd have to. Can you scoot back a little bit or no?
We're
trying to get your face in it. There, if you could rock like that. Oh, now it tilted down again.
Is this good?
Yeah, that's good, buddy. Yeah, we just want to make sure that everybody can see it and we're good to go. It was great running into you this weekend, dude. I totally did not dawn on me that you'd be out on the road with Travis this weekend. I looked up and I see this big Raised on Red on the stage. I'm like, I know this guy. I messaged you up real quick, and it was cool running into you, seeing you. But I want to start this show off kind of like we do every show, and I want to throw it way back, probably like 5 years ago now, when you're kind of growing up, man, around the house. What were your parents listening to? Kind of like your influences and what you're listening to when you're young, man. Your first musical kind of taste you had, I guess. And then we want to lead that into your first concert experience as well.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, both mom and dad are country music fans, and my dad's a very much so like Waylon, Hank Jr. specifically, Willie, that like outlaw thing that was, during that time. And then my mom just had like GAC and CMT playing in the house 24/7 and always had the radio on in the car. So I feel like I got the best of both worlds there growing up, because I got the outlaw thing from my dad, because he just, he doesn't listen to the radio. He listens to his CD. He always has his CDs, the music he wants to listen to. And then with mom, just playing like basically what was popular in the 90s and early 2000s. And that's kind of where it all started. I used to just sing all the words from everything from Shania Twain to Hank Jr., Dinosaur,
Yeah.
I like it. And researching for this, I could tell you're a huge fan, man. Just a huge music fan. We definitely connected over the Eric Church stuff. We talked about it Saturday. I'm showing pictures. I don't know if you can see him as we go in. The first picture I showed you wearing an Eric Church shirt. I was like, this is my guy right here. So
yeah, man, he was one of my first ones that I clicked on to myself, I guess you would say. As a 13, 14-year-old, I was like, wow, I don't know why I like this, but I like this a lot.
What was the first song of his you heard?
I think it was like Guys Like Me.
Nice.
And it was from GAC, when I was like 10 years old, probably in that, it was like in that 06, 07 era, he was on GAC, and Love You Love the Most was on GAC, CMT. So I feel like that was where I heard him the first time. And then I didn't have any CDs or anything. And I actually saw Eric, it was on TV. I wasn't there, but I saw Eric Church play acoustic on the Opry.
I was going to tell this story.
Like, oh my God, this is incredible. And that was one of the times when I was really like, it was him and Randy Houser actually that played, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Like, this is insane. I can't it was so awesome to me as a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid, that I was like, this is it right here. So that he was definitely like the first one I latched on to. I feel
that's awesome, man. Because I think that performance, I've heard a lot of people talk about that performance of him acoustic at the Opry. So the cool thing about that, I don't know if you know about this yet, GAC banned the music video Lightning. They wouldn't play it, and they refused to play the music video. Well, Eric was playing the Opry, and it was live Tuesday Night Opry on GAC. So he had one song left. Is just him as guitar. So what song does he sing? He sings Lightning. You could hear a needle drop, and Jillian and I were in the crowd that night. We watched it, and you could hear a needle drop in the Ryman Auditorium. He's singing Lightning, and it was like a big FU to GAC, and that was one of his first FUs that he kind of gave out. But I was just like, that's why I like this guy, because he doesn't really care. They just banned the song and this music video for what it was, and now here he is at the Opry singing it. So it was cool. Yeah. That's kind of like how you kind of fit the mold. Yeah, connected with it as well too.
Awesome.
So you started playing guitar at 14, man. That's crazy to think. That's probably 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Yeah, only 2 or 3. Yeah, I feel like it was 2 or 3 years ago.
I was going to say, you're a baby. I turned 40 in a couple weeks. You're probably a baby compared to me. So
I turned 26 about Beginning of May, so I guess that's about a month ago.
Nice, dude. Nice. Well, man, happy late birthday, dude. But what was the first song you kind of started playing on that guitar at 14, man? When you first got that thing in your hands, like what would you say? Was it a country song? Was it an old rock song? What was it?
When I first started, it was definitely I remember playing Colder Weather by Zach Brown, Hank It, Justin Moore, Sinners Like Me and Smoke a Little Smoke was both around those times too. Brantley Gilbert, those were kind of my, still are to this day, but like, man, especially like during that time, like Brantley Gilbert, being able to see him come up through Georgia, I was already obsessed with him anyway. So, learning his songs. And so like Brantley and Eric and Hank and I think Colder Weather was a very popular song around that time. And so I think that was another one why I tried to pick up on that one because I love the song. So I think those are kind of the first like 4 or 5 that I really started playing around with.
And I love that because you mentioned like 3 artists that are like completely opposite from one another too. I mean, Eric Church, Zach Brown, and Brantley Gilbert are 3 just out of the box. I mean, they have a little bit of similarities, but that's what I love about country music is this kind of what feels good, what you can relate to. I feel is country music
totally.
in a
way. And the thing is, I'm not like some over the top Zach Brown, fan, but like that, I'm pretty sure. I think that song was just like super popular. That was when Colder Weather came out when I was about that age when I picked up a guitar. And I love the song, so that was kind of just one of those ones. I was like, man, I want to, learn how to play this one, and that,
Were you writing
at the
same time you started playing, or did you start writing much later?
I actually started writing before I even knew how to play guitar.
Nice. Was it more poetry, do you think, or was it actual songs?
No, it was. I call it. It was a song with no music, so I think you call that poetry, I guess. Yeah. Me and my dad would kind of write together sometimes. I would write on my own. He had this little, it was a little blue notebook. I think he still has it. And he would just write. He had went back. My dad dropped out of high school a long time ago. And then he went to get his GED when I was around that age. And I just like during, I guess it's like writing class. I don't know, whatever he was doing. He would like write all this stuff and I would read it and I was like, well, this is cool. And then he wrote this like country music, like poem about like country artists and their song titles like connected. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. And me and him kind of started writing a little bit here and there together. And then it was just like, we basically wrote, we had a handful of songs and like, I was, writing songs, quote unquote,
what were you writing about at that age? I mean, what were these songs about? Do you remember?
Yeah, we had like I wrote a ton about like my granddad and stuff because I lost my granddad when I was 13.
Yeah.
So I mean that was like right when I started playing, writing and playing guitar anyway.
And that your new song "House Heaven's" about that, right?
It is. Yeah. It is. It's more. It's a lot more professionally written in those songs, back in the day. But yes, that's the exact.
Have a few under your belt.
That exact thing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, I lost my grandfather in 2000. I was really close to him. Near and dear. I know every time I hear Grandpa Told Me So by Kenny Chesney, it just gets me choked up every time because that was my guy, man. Growing up, that was just my buddy, So I definitely resonate and feel that with you on that. So for you writing those songs, I bet you were writing some good ones back then too. So if anything like the ones you're writing now.
Yeah, that's I was just writing all kind of stuff, and I feel like it just kind of like people would be like, if it was terrible, I would know it, and then if it was great, people would tell me, like my dad or my mom, like it was like I can't remember what song it was. It might have. I think it was the Eric Church song. It was like "Drinking My Hand" or something. I was like playing it, and my dad. I remember like talking to my mom and dad about it. And this was when I was like 16 years old, and we were just like, I think this is a real thing you could really pursue. It's not a joke. Like you really got something here. So I remember when I was like 16 years old, like talking about it. Way before I moved here.
Yeah.
I was like sophomore in high school.
When I was researching for the show, it looks like you had a really supportive family, dude. Is that your sister in a lot of pictures?
Yeah.
Okay.
My sister, my mom.
I figured that was your sister. So definitely, it looked like you guys were real close growing up. I know Jillian has has a brother too, and they're really close. So definitely, I saw that, and I saw that it was a really supportive family for you. Definitely that's why I told you on Saturday, I love your journey because you could see everybody was in your corner rooting for you your entire time ever since you were 14, man. They were right there with you. So about 5 years after that, you moved to Nashville at 19, man. So you've been there 6-7 years now or so.
Seven, just a hair over 7 now. Yeah.
What finally made you make that jump, dude? I mean, especially being 19 years old, you couldn't even get into a bar to play yet.
Yeah. It was the plan all along. Like I said, I feel like that conversation when I was like 16 years old. My family, they were in on it, and we still joke to this day. We had a senior year, you have like a meeting with your counselor or whatever. That's like part of the graduation program thing, or whatever. And I'm not the college guy. I didn't care about college. All I wanted to do was get out of Rome, Georgia, and come here to Nashville. And I love Rome, Georgia, but I was like, I have nothing. I want to be in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And we go in, and me and my mom were sitting there, and we're having this meeting with the counselor of the school, and like she's everybody else is like going to college. I'm going to be a teacher or whatever. And I go in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to college. I want to play music and write songs and all this. And then the lady looks over at my mom. She's like, are you okay with this? My mom's like, we're supportive, and all this. Well, and then the counselor lady, she starts like, oh, well, I actually went to school and have a really good friend. And he was on American Idol, and he does this, and he plays Broadway and this and that and other. And I was like, no, that's not it. Like, I'm not trying to go on American Idol. I'm not trying to play Broadway. I was like, I want to move to Nashville and write songs and do that thing. And she was just so confused. But that was it. My family wasn't confused. They got it 100%, and everybody's been behind it since day one. And I got a job building countertops in my hometown right after high school. Like, literally came back from senior trip, got the job, and my mom helped me get that job. She knew a lady that worked in the front office of the place. It was called Capital Line. And I got that job in May of 2014, and then I quit it in May of 15 and moved May of 15. And I was like, this is it. I had the opportunity to do it, so I haven't looked back since.
Yeah. Good for you.
You have to do that. Yeah, you have to take the jump and make the jump when it's time. And that's why I saw it at 19. I was like, man, I mean, I could see like someone at 21 going, because they're like, hey, at least maybe I could get into a bar, or I could do this. But like, you going at 19, dude, that's a big risk. That's a big jump that you made.
Yeah.
But you made it at the right time. I mean, because you knew, you just felt that you went with your gut. And I love that. You started working at UPS shortly afterwards. So I read that. I was like, oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You have to pay the
right
bills.
when I got here, obviously I just saved the money I had from working at Capital Line. I was still living at home, and I saved that money. And then I got here. This lady named Joy, she had this little 1-bedroom studio thing over here in Donaldson, and moved in there and got the job at UPS. I mean, like within a week or so of moving to town, because like I needed some money. I worked the nighttime. I worked the sunrise, whatever it's called, like 3 a.m. to like 8:30 a.m. so I could write song. I could go write, at 11.
Yeah, get off work straight to write. I love that.
That's why I was super skinny back in the day, because I didn't sleep, and I just worked and wrote songs 24/7 and never slept. So I was like beanpole back then,
Well, and within 2 years, what was this ASCAP GPS program? What was this? Tell me a little bit about this in 2016.
Yeah, so put a song. I'll just say the whole story front to back. So me and CJ, the dude that he went to our Murchie, he went to the same school I did, but he actually he lived in Eagleville, which is like, I don't know, I feel like it's probably like an hour south of Nashville. He was already kind of here, and that's the guy I actually moved into my first little studio apartment with when we moved here. And we weren't close in high school or anything, but we knew each other. And he at the time wanted to kind of play music and was already here, and I wanted to play music, so we went in together and got this little studio apartment. And the listening room, you talk about me being 19. The listening room, you don't have to be 21 to get into. So I used to go to the listening room all the time.
Nice.
Because you didn't have to be a certain age to get into. And actually, the night I moved to town, I saw a Shane McAnally, Rhett Akins round like at the listening room. It was the like coolest thing in my life. That was like, the first night I like moved to town, and I was like, oh my god, this is.
I was saying, that's a good
insane.
first night, man. Shit.
Yeah, yeah. So that, I mean, that was literally day one of being here, and he I think he knew about the listening room, so he told me about it. And anyway, so we used to go there all the time. And we were at the listening room one night, and we were actually at a Jordan Davis show, who at the time no one had any idea who he was. And he was playing like slow dance in a parking lot, you know, and we were like, oh my God, these songs are incredible. And this was 7 years ago, literally. And my mom texted me and said, half my heart's in Nashville. Like, love you, you know, something, you know, there's something like half my heart's in Nashville. And I turned to CJ, I was like, dude, we got to write a song called Half My Heart's in Georgia. So we left the listening room that day. And I can't remember if we wrote it that night, if we wrote it the next day. But we were just both from our Murchie, both just homesick, you know, sad, like what the hell are we doing here kind of thing. And wrote the song. And the next day, posted it on Instagram. Well, and then a man named Ben Hayslip, I'm sure you know who he is.
Yeah, I've heard that name.
He comments on the video and said something like this. He didn't follow me previously. Like he found this on Instagram, I guess, and said something like, "Man, this is really great. You know, whatever, yada yada yada." And I was sitting there, and I was like, "Oh my God, Ben Hayslip just commented on my Instagram video." And that was kind of like it. Told my parents about it. I was like, that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And a few days passed by. I mean, no joke, like 3 or 4 days passed by, and he sent me a message on Instagram. It was like, dude, like, we're sitting they're on the farm tour with Luke Bryan. It was like him, Rhett, Dallas, you know, all them on the farm tour. He's like, dude, we're sitting on the bus, like, been looking up your stuff, like, what do you want to do? You want to be an artist, you want to be a songwriter? Like, you know, what's your, plans, this, that, and other. And I'm like, holy crap, like this is the most insane thing of all time. And I'd been in Nashville about 7 or 8 months when this had happened. I did not. It's a misconception that I've told this story that I like knew Ben Hayslip before, and he's why I moved to Nashville. That's not true.
Yeah.
I moved here, and then this happened like 6 or 8 months into town. And he was like, dude, like, I want to get you in touch with my publisher, Rusty Gasson, who is nowadays he's the president of Sony Music, but at the time they were at This Music. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I can't believe it. He's like, he's expecting a phone call from you in the morning at like 8:30. I take off work at UPS. I'm like, oh my God, this is the biggest day of my life. Like, this is insane. I take off work the night of UPS. I'm like, not working. I called in. I was like, hey, I can't work today, whatever. And I call him, and he doesn't answer. I'm like, figures. Immediately calls me back. No. And this all happened in the same couple days. Calling back, he's like, hey, I want you to come to my office. Let's have a meeting or whatever. And I go in, have a meeting, play him all these songs. And he's like, wow, whatever. And he's like, do you have a PRO? And I had no idea what a PRO was at the time. He's like, BMI or ASCAP, and I had no clue what that was. And he was like, well, I want to introduce a guy named Robert Philhart. He introduced me to him. He loved my stuff as well. He was an ASCAP guy. ASCAP has this program. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
I thought that was you that fell.
No.
The way the phone tipped, I was like, did he just tip over?
My phone is leaned up against a Dale Jr. 2000 Budweiser mug.
I love that. Hey,
no, you're good.
Yeah,
dude.
you're all good, man.
Yeah.
Only two are gonna.
We're like on the edge of our. I was like on the edge of
listening. Yeah, no. On this, honestly, the audio is what's mainly the important part. That's what goes to streaming side. So we're all good on that. But yeah, dude, go ahead, finish
up.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That was a good story. I was like,
yeah. So we're. I have a meeting with him, and he introduced the PRO thing. He introduced me to Rusty. I go have a meeting with him. And like I said, this happens within like a Tuesday to Thursday. I mean, like all three of these things happen, back to back to back. And when I do this is about in October of, I guess, 2016, I guess, or whenever that was, 15. And yeah, that would have been 2015. 16 was when I got in. So GPS, I can't remember what GPS stands for, but it's basically like 15 writers that they think are ready for a publishing deal.
Nice.
And it's a year-long thing, and they take like January and February, you meet with someone. And then like March and April, you meet with someone else. And so it's like a 2-month, you work with like a publisher for 2 months.
Yeah.
So you get these meetings, this, that, and other. And I can't remember if my meeting with BMG came from GPS or it was because Robert introduced me through a different, like just because he wanted to. Mm-hmm. I can't remember, but Robert introduced me to a man named Daniel Lee, and we just kind of hit it off, right when we met. And that was in, like I said, 16, like the end of the year, probably in 16, probably like October, I think, of 16. And then I signed my deal, and I got my deal offered me in October of 17.
That's awesome.
BMG.
And that was within 3 years of you moving there or living there? You had that deal?
Yes, it was right at 3 years. Yeah.
Screw that 10-year town BS.
That's amazing.
But see, then we can get into all the other stuff later. So
yeah,
that's 3 years in, and then now we're 7. I can tell you the rest of the story when we get later in the conversation.
So
so it's, I look at kids now, and I'm like, I say kids like I'm an old grandpa, but I'm like, these dudes are so young coming to town, and then I'm like, I immediately just hit myself. I'm like, that was me. Like I moved here at 19, and I see kids, that are 19, 20, 21 that have deals, and I'm like, damn, I had a deal at 21. It's kind of nuts, to look at it like that. But I do think sometimes I'm like, dude, this kid doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's got a deal. And then I'm like, damn, that is exactly what every dude was thinking about me when I was 20 years old.
And someone decided to go on Instagram and take a chance on you, which I love that, man.
Same deal. So it all comes around.
I love that. Yeah, and it's a small world too when it comes down to it. I love that. Actually, I want to go into this. I had wrote down on here your biggest full circle moment in Nashville. So before we get into the next 4 years that you did, what has been your biggest full circle moment you've had so far since you've been living down there? I know the latest single could kind of be a small one, but
yeah, I feel like I've had a few, honestly. Yeah. Like getting to meet Hayslip for the first time. I was at BMG, and like I didn't never meet the guy. He did all this stuff for me, and put his neck out for me, and virtually introduced me to these people. Like I had never met him. We talked a bunch, but I'd never met him. So like getting to meet him for the first time at BMG, like that's incredible. That's a super cool thing. I had never once in my life ever drank champagne. I tell this story. I feel like this is like I tell a lot of people this is like my claim to fame here, but I'd never drank champagne my whole entire life. And this was probably in like 2000 and it was probably 19. BMG opens up this new multi-million-dollar building, 3 floors, glass, big fancy thing. And Jason Aldean is signed to BMG. And I'm sitting there with a couple guys. Anthony Smith was one of them, and he's got a bunch of big hits and whatever. And he was like, "Have you ever met Jason?" And I was like, obviously not. And he's like, "Let's go over here." And so we go over there. They got this huge table. They got a couple bartenders back there, and they're just like have it lined up with champagne. And he picks up a couple of glasses, and I'm like, naturally, I'm gonna pick up a couple of glasses. And we go over there, and it's Jason Aldean and his wife, Brittany. And he goes over there and introduces me to Jason Aldean, and like we sit there and drink champagne at the BMG's like opening. It was their opening night party, whatever.
That's awesome.
So like the first time I ever drank champagne was with a dude that started putting out music, in like 2004, 2005. That I was like, Hicktown, all that stuff is like
the stuff you grew up on.
And then he doesn't know that we're just sitting there, and it's just like super laid back and cool. But inside I'm like, holy shit, this is insane. So like stuff like that, and then to getting the call to go on tour with Corey Smith, like a dude that I've listened to since being a Georgia boy since I was literally 10, 11, 12, 13, and those Brantley Gilbert, Colt Ford, they're all from the same area. They toured my area, so like you just know about those guys from when you're a kid. And we all had those Brantley Gilbert and Colt Ford and Corey Smith CDs before they when they were not like they didn't have record deals, so their CDs weren't getting sold at Walmart, and we were buying them at shows or whatever.
Yeah, or the trunk of the car.
Yeah, exactly. So like we had those CDs, and like Blackberry Smoke was another band that was out of Atlanta that I had loved their songs, had their CDs before they had record deals and stuff and were sold. So like just getting to meet Corey Smith and open shows for him. So I feel like those are kind of the three
that's awesome
that I would like have in my mind that I would say like my three full circle moments.
So wild today that we interviewed Corey this morning, and then you tonight. I was just like, talk about we've been trying to get Corey on. I've been trying to get on him for at least a year, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, we could do at 10 a.m. the 13th. I'm like, well, I already got a show. Oh, we'll do it. And I'm like, wait, Dawson opened for Corey for his first tour. This is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, Corey Smith probably has no idea who I am. Like after that was 2019, and then he was already taking off his beginning of 2020 with his eye surgery stuff, and then 2020 happens, and that's been 2 years ago now, and he probably has no idea who I am anymore. But like it meant a lot to me during the time of like that was a huge deal to be able to go out and do those shows and all that stuff.
And another thing why I was talking about like the latest and current single, you're talking about the songs that you started playing on the guitar, and Justin Moore was one of them. And now you have a single out, Raised on Red. Heath Sanders and Justin Moore, dude, which is just amazing. I when I saw that, I was like, dude, this is what it's all about right here. Just like talking about your inspirations, and all of a sudden your inspirations influences are dropping your own music. So it's just it was really cool to see that happen for you, man. So I'm definitely really proud of you on that. If you guys haven't checked out Raised on Red yet, new single by Heath Sanders is a badass song. You guys need to go check it out. Songwriter is pretty badass too. So another question I had wrote down here is you're out with Travis Tritt right now, working with him, and you open some shows too. Corey Smith, we talked about touring with him. Is there any venues or cities that you kind of got to that is outside of your hometown that you just loved playing shows in, or maybe like a different venue or something?
Yeah, I think still to this day, probably Myrtle Beach has been Myrtle Beach, or like I feel like anywhere in Florida. Florida people are just off the chain always.
Yeah. In
the greatest ways possible. And getting to play like Orlando and Tampa and Myrtle Beach, like those beach towns, man, they're just they love you. They don't know who you are, but they are about it, and they want to take pictures and get my autograph and do all the stuff. And it's just like, wow, like these people actually give a damn,
Yeah.
And it's all over. I feel like the Midwest is the same way, but like the Southeast, people talk about like, man, well, all these guys are coming from Georgia or whatever. And it's like, it's not because we're Georgia guys, I guess. It's because the people that are in phone about fell again there. The people that are in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, whatever, they support like guys like us, So, those Florida people, they just like support people like us. And it's very similar to Texas in its own way. It doesn't have Georgia doesn't have its own radio station. The Southeast doesn't have its own radio station, and all that. But it's the people in Texas and the people in the Southeast, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, those people are the same kind of people. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like that there's a lot of artists from that area because people support the hell out of them.
That's why I asked Corey Smith hey, what's Georgia putting in the water down there, man? Because it's pumping out artists left and right lately, and it's awesome. Every one of y'all are been badass. Like we spent 5 years in Mississippi. We're in northern Mississippi for a while, and that's when I first heard of Corey Smith and bands like Jonathan Singleton was right from the town over from us pretty much. So I got to hear his stuff early on. And it was really cool kind of being around all that and being so rich in that Southern music history too.
Yeah.
Being close to like Muscle Shoals and Memphis and Nashville. We were right there, like right in the mix of all three of those. So it was really cool. Has there been any shows that you've played since the age of 14 till now that stand out as like most memorable to you? Maybe like did you go back home and play a show or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the very first time I ever headlined the little It's called the Brew House,
Yeah.
or it's called Peaches now, but it was called the Brew House.
In Rome?
Yeah, in Rome.
Yeah,
The very first time I did that, I sold like 560 something tickets.
Ooh.
And to be able to just go there and like do that, and like I was changing clothes before the show. My mom like lives right in town, in the venues right in town. We did sound check, all this. I went back to my mom's house. I changed clothes, like took a shower, just like was chilling out, and then we drove back, and there was like a line of people out the door, out the front door, lined up down Broad Street, and it's just like, damn, these people are here to see me play a show, So that was the very first time we ever did that, and like I've headlined the Brew House now 3-4 times, but the very first time, I'll just never forget seeing those people like lined up out the front door and selling over 500 tickets. It was a super just like holy huge, shit thing,
That's huge.
And everybody signs the. It took me a while to get into the place, honestly. Mm-hmm. And everybody signs the green room, like you sign. Like I mean, everybody from Florida Georgia Line when they played there, Thomas Rhett, Brett Eldridge, to guys, John Langston, Muscadine Bloodline, to now playing. I mean, everybody and their brothers played this place. And I was like, golly, I want to sign this wall so bad. And then we get in there and, did this. And, like, I get up on a ladder and I signed my name, no joke, like, huge, right above the damn door. And I was like, I've waited my whole life to sign my name right here, above this door.
I love that.
So, like, that's probably the most, like, just like, wow. Walking out there and, like, people going plumb nuts. It was just like, that was the one. That was probably in, like, 2000 and I think it was 19. I think it was the very first time I ever played there. So it was just like, wow, to see all those people there. That's I don't know. Until I can sell out like Rome River Jam, and that'll probably be the top one.
That'll be the next one. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, it's funny. I was yesterday when we were out in Iowa. I cruised out over to Clear Lake, Iowa, because that's where the Surf Ballroom is, where Buddy Holly played his last show.
Yeah.
And their green room's the same way. It has everybody who's anybody's autograph on the wall. So I'm in there. The ceilings are signed. The floor is signed. I'm just looking at. I was in there for an hour almost, just looking at all the autographs. I was like, dude, this person, where's that person? And it was really cool. I wasn't in there that long, but it felt like it. Because it was a really cool historical place to see, though. But to see all those, the when you said that kind of resonated with me. And yesterday when I saw all those, we talked a little bit about Eric Church, man. And one thing you and I connected on Saturday, we both noticed, we have a Sinners Like Me tattoo, dude. So what, for you, when you got a music tattoo, it had to mean something that much to you. For you, what does Sinners Like Me mean?
Well, that was actually my very first tattoo ever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was 18, just right after senior trip. My birthday's in May, so like graduation and stuff. I just had turned 18. Like by the time we graduated, and so like we went on senior trip, and I had actually had a girl. Her name was Erica Dutton. We were like nominated like the most talented, the little group, senior superlatives. Like, you get like the
best
most
looking,
popular, best looking. Yeah.
Smile.
Not most popular, not best looking, but got me. She was like an artist. She could draw. She designed like T-shirts and stuff for the school, stuff like that. And she got it. She was the female. I was the male, and we got like most talented of the thing. And it was no joke, like it was probably like junior year of high school. I got her to draw the tattoo of like the cross with Sinners Like Me, like the lyrics in it, and then I got established and then got my birthday on the bottom. And like I said, when I heard that song for the first time, it was in that whole same time span, probably 14, 15 years old when I heard Sinners Like Me for the first time. And I don't know what makes you love music or lyrics when you're that age. Like, I'd never tasted Jack Daniels in my life. Like, I just like those kind of things. I remember someone even saying
the grandpa side too. Sitting down on the headstone.
I think so. But I remember having conversations with buddies, and it's like guys like me drank too many beers on Friday after work. Talking about guys like me, those songs, like. Why did we like those songs when we were kids? Like, I never even drank a beer, like when I was a little kid, like I don't have a truck to work on. I'm like 13 years old. So it's like, something about Eric Church. I still to say don't know what it was. Like the early Eric Church just like ate me up like a drug, really.
I think it was like the rebel side of it. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have any outsiders coming into the country music world. I think that might have been what it was. He was our outsider at the time.
Yeah, he was like the dude, and it's just like I wanted to drink Jack Daniels on my grandpa's grave, and like I wanted to work on my truck and like that kind of stuff. So I think that's like what it was. And when I was a kid, like I said, like 16, 17 years old, I'm like, dude, like I come from a long line of sinners like me. Like we're all the same kind of people, and I mean, pretty much, I think, like I said, it was probably like 16, 17. She drew that picture, and I went to the tattoo shop and got it. Went, like, right after senior trip. I turned 18 right before senior trip. We went on a week trip to Panama City. Came back drunk, sunburnt, hungover. I was bleeding so much. The dude was like, have you been drinking? And I was like, well, no, not today, but I just came back from senior trip yesterday, and like we've been drinking for like 7 days straight, but so like I'm sunburnt and bleeding like hell, but that was that's what it means to me. Like he's one of the reasons I picked up a guitar. Of all, Hank and Eric Church and Brantley Gilbert, like they're the three dudes. Reason I do it, I feel like.
I hear that, man, because those are three that you could relate to so much. That was for Church. I kind of mentioned this with Corey Smith earlier, but I felt like everything he was putting out, I was relating to. Like, it's like, damn, dude, are you spying on my life right now? Like, how do you know, like, The Hard Way, like the song The Hard Way, and then the next album would come out, and oh man, Without You Here was another one that was really good. And I was like, dude, like I'm resonating with these songs and everything. I'm like, how's this guy spying on my life? It was just cool. Every time an album came out, it was like I was growing up or changing with Eric Church's music, so I used to love it, man.
I feel the same way, and I was such a like. I never even thought about it at the time, but like as I got older and met guys in music that liked Eric Church and like guys like that, like I just said, it's like, why did we like songs about drinking beer and working on trucks and stuff like that? It's like, I don't know. It's just like because I wanted to drink beer and work on trucks and stuff like that. I think that's got to be why. Like that's the why behind it. And if you're an artist and you can connect from kids that are small town America, kids that are 14 years old to women and men that are of literally all ages, from 30s to 40s, 50s, 60s. I feel like that's the key to selling 65,000 tickets at USA Bank Stadium. That's the key to doing it right there.
That was crazy.
Saturday. That's how you do it.
Oh man. So what does the rest of 2022 look like for you, buddy? I know you've been out doing some dates. You opened up a couple of shows for Travis, right? But what do you have coming up for you this year?
Yeah, so we're doing the working on getting a new deal. I mean, that's my main goal is getting a new deal now. And with the traction of having a couple label cuts that have come in, I think that is highly possible within this year. I really do think that's possible within this year to figure out something and lock something down. And then touring with Travis Tritt, doing the thing, setting up the drums, doing making sure everything works and all the stuff for him. Like I told you Saturday or Friday, whenever we were there, it's not the end goal, but it's definitely way better than after 2020 and 2021 of, washing cards. It's a hell of a lot better than that.
It's stepping stones. It's networking. It's getting your foot in the door, and who knows? I mean, now did you it was a couple acoustic shows you played with him, right? That you opened up?
I've never actually opened up for.
I thought you played a show with Travis. I thought maybe you were just out with him. I thought you were actually playing acoustic shows. That's my bad.
Yeah, we.
I thought you played acoustic.
No, we. So we were talking about that 3 years in to 7 years now. So in 2020, I lost my publishing deal. 2020 happens. No one's playing shows. Like everything just seems like it's falling apart pretty much. And in my mind, it was like falling apart. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I couldn't like get out of the headspace. It's like I just couldn't see the. I'm always good if I can see like the end goal or like what I'm working towards. But like in 2020 and 2021, it was like there was no like if you're going to be that little mouse on the treadmill, that little piece of cheese, there was no cheese there to chase. Like it was like, what is going on, you know? And it was like that for everybody, I'm sure, in the world, and everybody has their own issues.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to like figure out, you know, what the hell is going to happen and like how is this going to work, you know, whatever. And we stick it out, and like seeing friends have success, like Trey Lewis, like he's one of my good buddies, and Matt and Alex, my roommate, like seeing those guys have success is like really helped me get through that. I was the guy that I originally signed with through BMG. He was starting a company with Busby, and then Busby passes away. So like me and him are ready to we're chomping at the bit to put ink on paper, and then Busby passes away, and then it's like can't happen. So like there were things that were like that cheese, you know, but nothing ever happened. And man, I was washing cars. That's what I did, and I worked at a golf course and washed cars through 2020, 2021, and was able to still write songs every day. And then Caleb Conrady, one of my best friends, he got the production assistant job for Travis. And like 2 weeks after he started, the dude that did the drum tech, backline tech stuff just quit, and he left. And they couldn't find anybody. And I have no experience doing it, nothing. And they were like, dude, we'll teach you everything you need to know. Like, we need somebody out here. Like, we'll teach you how to do it. Like, would you be interested? And I was like, hell yeah. Like, way better than washing cars. Like, hell yeah, I'll tour with Travis Tritt and, you know, put his drums up and all that stuff. So my official deal is I put drums, bass, the steel. He does steel, electric, harmonica, and another guy does acoustics.
And you save
fiddle.
Speakers in the rain.
Do what? Yeah.
So you save speakers in the rain.
Make sure when everything starts pouring down, I make sure everything's not wet.
Yep.
So
got wet
that's what it is now. So, and it's it's a bus gig. You know, we get paid well. We get the catering on the bus. Like it's not bad. It's like I said, it's not the end goal, but it's like while I'm trying to figure out the publishing deal and artist side of things. I have the artist thing figured out. I just need to like get a deal, you know, working towards that. While we're figuring that out, this is not bad to pay the bills and, you know, do all that stuff.
Well, no, it's not a bad not a bad name to be working for either. I mean, that guy's a legend. It was awesome seeing him this weekend. I haven't seen Travis for a few years, and to see him still out there doing what he was doing, man, I was like, wow. I was like, I can't believe he was moving the way. Like, I know we talked about it a little bit on how he only sat a couple songs, but I was like, damn, this guy's moving.
Yeah. Like I told you, I think I told you this is like, man, and he's told us, and I don't see no stopping anytime soon because the dude sells more tickets than guys that are on mainstream radio every night. So it's like, he has no stopping him, and I'm here for it, you know, as long as
they're selling tickets and there's a demand, do it, man. Do it.
Yeah, there's just he loves it. So, and he can do it at the quality that he wants to do it, and be able to pay the people he needs to pay to have the band and the crew that he wants and all that. You know, I think he's gonna keep doing it. And like I said, like he sells more tickets than guys that have number ones on the radio. Like smaller guys. It like blows my mind.
It's insane. Well, we're going to move on to our Powered by Poddeck section. There's our sponsored section of the night before we wrap everything up. It's a little card app that we use. We pulled two cards that ask you on, and the first one was, who do you view as an unsung hero of the music industry?
Unsung hero of the music industry. If you had asked me this question before I started working with Travis, I would have told you I 100% think songwriters are the unsung heroes because no one knows who they are, but without them, you wouldn't have the music you have out there. So I feel like like people just like think Jason Aldean writes all of his own songs, and it's like, no. Like George Strait, I think he wrote 62 number ones. It's like, no. Like the guys that are getting shafted on Spotify every day, they're the ones that write the songs that you love. Yep. So if you'd asked me that question a year ago, I would have said just that. That would have been all I said. But then now that I have worked for Travis Tritt and on the live side of things, I think that is also an unsung hero of the music industry because without the techs and the guys that put the stages up and the guys that do all those things that for all these acts, you wouldn't have these shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it takes a crew from the writer's room all the way to putting that show on in Forest City, Iowa, or wherever we were this weekend. It takes a lot of people to make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely think those are your top two.
I love that.
That are there.
I love that, man.
True.
So
and I would have never have known that.
No,
because like when we all the touring that I've done and all the stuff, like we just set our own stuff up, you know, like whatever, and it's just like, hell yeah, we're happy to be here. We're gonna set our own stuff up, you know, whatever, and it's good to go. I didn't really know when Jason Aldean pulls up. He's got 2 buses full of dudes that are just crew guys that set the stage up and the lights and and all the stuff. I had no idea, you know, I just didn't know. So they're definitely those are the guys that make the world go around.
That's great. It's crazy too when you think about like how much, like, I remember seeing Church when he was busting it when I first saw him. But then he got the trailer, or he had the busting trailer. Then he got got rid of the trailer and he got a semi truck. He had just one.
Yeah.
Now he's got 17 semi trucks, like 12 buses. I'm like, damn, it's like it takes that much just to move this. This is crazy, man. When you actually sit down and think about all that stuff.
And it blows my mind. And then it gets tore down in one night and gets set up the next morning in somewhere else. And to those 60,000 people or 3,000, however many people, it's like that night's their brand new night. And you know, I don't know if people realize that or not, but it's like that's the best night of their life, and as it should be. But it's like all these guys went out here and just did, you know, set this up for these people that was their best night of their life, and the next night their best night of their life. It just like blows my mind how it's like it's a traveling circus.
You know what's really cool at the end of the day?
That's a really good way to put it, a traveling circus.
It's all surrounded by music. Music brings so many people together, and it makes so much. It's literally, music is like the common denominator in this world, I believe. So when I was talking with Corey, we talked about like being at a concert. He was talking about being at live, and even though he didn't know anybody, everybody around him was a stranger, he still knew that they all bought the same album. They all bought the same merch. They all had the one common goal or the one common thing together. So there really was no strangers in there because you all already had an icebreaker with the person next to you.
Yep, I agree with that. When you go out and you see like if I went to a rap show, I'd stand out like a sore thumb because I don't listen to rap music. I don't know the words, you know, whatever. But like when we're all sitting at a Corey Smith or Travis Tritt or Eric Church concert, it's like we may not think the same, we may not do the same thing, but like we can get along for sure because we're here we can get down with this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I think that's exactly what you're saying. I think that's super cool that like music does bring those kind of people together and those, you know, big, huge crowds.
So on the second question, this is going to be a good one right now. So we're going to go back to a year before all this started taking off. If you could go back and tell 13-year-old Dawson 3 words, all you get is 3 words, what would they be?
I saw this question when you put it on the thing earlier, and like I feel like so my answer is going to be don't give up.
I love it.
But I never had an ounce of like give up in me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like if you just had that, in which I do between my mom and my dad specifically, but just like, dude, don't give up. Don't give up. You know, every morning, just like whatever. And it's just like, especially through 2020 and 2021, like just waking up in the morning being like, dude, do I really got to go I worked at Advanced Auto Parts too. Like, do I really got to go deliver parts to, you know, this Joe Blow dude over here to do this? And it's just like, is this really worth it? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, dude, don't give up. Don't give up. Because, like, if you have some talent and you have the drive and you have, even if whatever that is, like, if you got that and you don't have that give up in you, like, it's going to work out in some way, shape, or form. I promise. That's what I would tell, like, young 13-year-olds. Like, I don't care if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, music, whatever it is. It's like if you got like the drive to do that, you're going through some ups and downs, but like if you stick it out, something good will happen.
I love that. You can't, man. If you have a passion, you have a dream, keep doing it and keep fighting for it too. I believe because like you say, don't give up, because the minute you give up is when somebody else is going to get your dream. So somebody else is going to take that from you when you give up. So definitely, yes. Hard to beat somebody who never gives up. Exactly, Randy. That's what I just said. We had that in a comment. Randy Adams in our chat said hard to beat somebody who never gives up. And honestly,
I put that's been my Randy is an awesome dude. I know who Randy is.
He's amazing, dude.
Yeah, I've met him, and that was kind of my thing. I didn't post about how shitty my life was and how bad it was really in 2020 and 2021 because like, and I made a post about this too, but it's like not what I do. It's like it doesn't have to be done. I made the choice to do all this, like I made the choice to make all these things happen. So like when everything is shut down and you lose a deal and all that, it's like, yeah, it sucks. Like what in the world is like, you don't give up. Exactly. I saw Jimmy Johnson, and I made a post about this when I got the phone call that Justin Moore and Heath were cut and Raised on Red. I made a post like December of last year. I was like, I've been waiting on this post, and like we've been friends on Facebook and Instagram for a long time, so you probably even saw it. But like, it was like I've been waiting on that post or that phone call my whole life, basically. And like, I was like, Jimmy Johnson, he had all his shit he went through in his career, and he's like, it's hard to beat a son of a bitch that don't give up. And I put that as my screensaver on my phone for 2 years. I looked at it every morning. It's hard to beat a son of a bitch that don't give up. And that's you just got to wake up and take it on the chin and go for it, really, no matter what you're doing. That's what I would tell any of them.
And life gives you some shitty bumps at times, but as long as you get over those bumps, you don't give up. I mean, you keep pushing forward. I know things will discourage people at times, and just don't give up when it discourages you, because I've had it. I recently, I kind of told that I've been doing photography lately, man, and I got a chance to shoot for Parker McCollum 2 weeks ago. It was really cool. He's opening up for church, and I get there and I didn't have a pass no more. And I think it might have been because of my relationship with the church people. Maybe I don't know what it was, but it was a hiccup. It was a bump in the road. I was devastated, man. Like it was something I worked really hard for, but I'm not going to let it bother me anymore. I want to look past that. I'm not going to give up on that, because honestly, what I've been doing lately is what I loved. And I see what I did this weekend and what I did for like the Travis Tritt pictures I got and stuff and everything else. I was like, dude, you know what? This is my life. This is what I want to do. And I love it. Yeah. And I'm not going to let anything else kind of push me back. I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to keep pushing for it. So that's I haven't really shared yet, but I want to share that tonight.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you get knocked down, taken on the chin 2 weeks ago, and then you get to do, a show with, there was all kind of huge acts that played the last 3 days at that Country Thunder thing. It's like, it's literally the highest of highs and lowest of lows. It's just like a shot right in the neck. I feel like just like, here's the highest high you've ever felt. Bam. Yep. And then it's like, bam, here's the lowest low you've ever felt. And they could be days apart, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's a personality thing or like we have the personality and the drive to do this, but it feels that way. It could be the highest of highs or lowest of lows. And you could literally feel like you're in cloud nine one day, and then the following day feel like you got your teeth kicked in. Yep. And that's just the way it is, And then you wake up the next day, like every single day, I tell people all the time, it's like, dude, a single phone call could change your life. Yeah. In anything, but specifically like music and all this stuff. Like you get a phone call to go take pictures and like do media somewhere, dude, changes your life. You get that phone call to do content, changes your life. I get the phone call to do whatever. It's like
you get that publishing deal, man. It's going to come back around to you. It's going to get you. Yeah. No, it is. I had the head of social media on Saturday come up to me at Country Thunder and tell me that we love your work. We want you to come to every one of them. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, we want you to be there and want you to be a part of every one of these. And I don't know if I'd ever get paid to do it, but it'd be nice. But yeah, it's just cool for them to say that and say that, hey, we love your work. And the minute we see you put a request in for media, we're going to just put that check mark next to it. And it's cool to have that to have that and someone to tell you that and back you up and kind of give you that little bit of boost you need at times. But even if you don't get that boost and you don't give up, because like we said, the minute you give up, someone else will go and grab that. Somebody else will be shooting Country Thunder next year. Who knows?
Yeah.
It won't be because I gave up on something. So
yeah,
I love that, man. I love that how you tell yourself that. And honestly, we all lived like that, and we all just kind of fought and grinded for the things that we were passionate about in life. I think things would be a little different for everybody. So
I agree with that 100%.
All right, our next segment is one of my favorites. Now, this is the first time I've ever had the same artist twice, but I have 5 seconds of 4 songs, and the first memory you have with this song, we're going to talk about it for a quick second. Go ahead and play either one of the first ones. Give me back my hometown, Eric Church. When you hear that song, man, where's it taking you?
I remember the first time I heard it. Actually, it was when he put out. That was on the Outsiders record, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in school. We were senior years. There was a link, like got put out on the internet or somewhere. Like Eric Church is like they're giving a little sneak peek, like whatever. And I don't know if like it was like illegal. It wasn't like illegally downloaded like LimeWire or nothing. But there was a website. Right. Do what?
I thought it didn't come from me, right? No.
No. It was a thing on the internet, and it was like that was the first single that we all listened to, and we were like downstairs at my dad's that dad's house. I remember listening to that "Give Me Back My Hometown" for the first time, and I was like, oh my God, you know. And they ended up having a little thing that had like a link that had like that kind of early fed all the songs that were on that album. And I remember listening. I was just like, I wore out the album before the album come out.
I remember the little links. I don't remember what you're talking about. I remember that, and I'm always listening to it because now I'm to the point where if I know an artist is going to putting an album out and they start releasing like 6 or 7 singles before the album comes out, I refuse to listen to those singles. I'm like, no, I want the damn album.
Same way. The same way. But back then, like they put those links out. I literally wore the Outsiders record out before it even touched the shelves or my phone. Like I remember, we just wore it the hell out.
But then you're gonna like the next one too, because we're gonna play this next one here. Go ahead and play that one. Talladega, man. I know your NASCAR love. I had to throw Talladega in here.
Yeah,
what do you hear this
I don't remember. It was the same record. So during that whole same time, but like when I saw on the list that it had like a song called Talladega, I'm like, like what could this be about? And then like I hear it, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is insane. You know, Eric Church like singing about NASCAR. And if you've been to Talladega, which I don't know if y'all have, but it is an experience in itself. And like that song times 100 is what that feels like being at Talladega, you know.
You say you've been by Talladega. We just never stopped by. It was in Alabama. We drove past it.
Yeah, but we've never been.
We never been, but we went around there. No, I had to put that out there. If you guys don't know and you guys are tuning in, Dawson is one of the biggest NASCAR fans you'd ever imagine. He probably has NASCAR underwear on right now. So definitely a huge NASCAR
That's funny.
fan, and that's why I had to throw Talladega in there because definitely when I saw that, I was like, all right, we're doing back-to-back church songs. Now we're going to move away from that, and we're going to play the green one. Go ahead and do that one quick.
Singing along, this might not be the right time.
So Luke Combs, this one's for you. This is why I put in there. So when you hear This One's For You by Luke Combs, where does it then take you?
It takes me moving to Nashville.
Okay.
It doesn't really bring a person to me. It brings a time because when he just started putting out songs and he just like Hurricane, Beer Can, and all that stuff, that was all coming out when I was moving here. Yeah. And like when I was a senior in high school to 19 years old, like all those songs. And then I know that album didn't come out till later on, but like I knew all those songs while I was moving here. And, you know, Luke Combs, I actually met like Luke and Ray and Drew Parker and all those guys like super early in town. And they already had their friend group and everything. Like they were already doing their thing. But like I did meet them early in the town. I got to like see him play, you know, those songs.
Whiskey Jam and stuff, probably.
Whiskey Jam, like those games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Revival. So like that's exactly where that song takes me. It's not a person, but a time. Like when I moved here.
I love it. And that's what it's supposed to do, man. Earlier when we had Corey Smith, The Dance by Garth Brooks took him to the time of his grandma and tablature chords and learning how to play it for his grandma. I'm like, that's why I do these little 5-second clips. I want to see
this is cool.
Well, this last
cool.
one, I was doing some research. You might like this last one. Go ahead and play the last one.
What color?
It's yellow.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Protected by the good Lord and a gun.
Josh Thompson, way out here, man.
Show up here now.
So when you hear that one, where's it going to take you, dude?
Did you do some research to where somewhere I said this is like the greatest country song ever written?
I think I might have heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still to this day, and I will take this to my grave, I think Josh Thompson is the most underrated artist possibly of all time. If he came out today in 2022 with those songs, that dude would be the biggest son of a bitch.
You're
ever.
on the table, dude. It'd be huge right now.
Oh my God. I remember when I bought buying CDs back when I was a kid, and the reason the whole Justin Moore thing was so emotional for me, I'm pretty positive, because I'd had the church CDs and stuff, but when I went, because my dad had them and my mom had them and stuff, but when I went and bought a CD for the first time with my own money, I'm pretty sure it was Josh Thompson's first CD and Justin Moore's first CD, because they came out very similar times. And Way Out Here was on it. And dude, I have played that. If I've played a show, that song's been in it, because I our houses are protected by the good Lord and a gun. You might meet them both if you show up here unwelcome, son. If you don't like that, you can kiss my tail. That is
So
top
true.
notch for me. So that I don't even know when the first time I heard that was. I was obviously probably 12 to 15 years old, but still to this day, 26-year-old me, 86-year-old me will think that's the most underrated man in country music history that never had a shot. And I think that song is one of the best songs ever that just never had a chance.
And he's still cranking out hits, man. People just don't know.
He writes hits like it's just drinking water.
David Adam Burns on the show probably a month or two ago, and he was talking about how he writes with Josh Thompson. He's hiding out in Montana now these days. I'm like, that's kind of cool, man. So he kind of just went out there and he's doing his thing, but he's cranking out hits left and right still to this day. And
the song, he's got the Aldine thing now going on. He's got Luke Bryan songs. They're so good.
Yep.
I just love them, and his stuff is so awesome.
If you guys are on Spotify, you're listening to songs, hit those three little dots in the right-hand corner, and it's going to scroll down and hit song credits. And you guys are going to see names that you never believed would be on credited songs, but it's some really cool stuff that if you guys ever check that out, the liner notes, kind of for us older folks, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
Now you got to hit the three little dots on Spotify or whatever and hit song credits.
Open the CD book and read this through
I remember
CD
opening
book.
cassette books. I remember opening up cassette books and looking at lyrics and who wrote it. I always wanted to know those things.
Yeah.
I did that my whole life, man. That was my thing. I was I remember getting to Nashville. I still say to this day, somebody will throw out a title or I'll throw out a title. I'm like, dude, that'll look great on the back of a CD. And that ain't even a thing no more. But that's where my mind goes to.
I've always had a song title in my head and a picture of how I want the back of it look like. But it's called Probably in a Pontiac. I've always
Probably in a Pontiac.
I always want to write a song called that and just have this really cool old school Pontiac on the back of a CD cover. I'm like, that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
It'll never happen, but hey, it was fun. All right, we're gonna put you on the hot seat for a little bit. What this is 10 quick questions. The first thing that pops in your head, you're just gonna spit it out. So, first vinyl record you ever purchased?
I don't know if I've ever purchased a vinyl record.
First CD.
I had first CD is going to be Josh Thompson and Justin Moore.
Hell yeah, man! If you had an endless supply of something, what would it be?
Probably NASCAR merchandise.
Hell yeah! Who has the best pizza you've ever had?
I don't know the place, but man, I was right on tour with Travis, and Caleb gets us some after show food. We were in St. Augustine, Florida, which I know is nowhere near the pizza capitals of the world, because I do think some of that pizza is some of the greatest pizza I've ever had. But he got this pizza it was onions and mushrooms and cheese, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best pizza ever put in my mouth. And it was in St. Augustine, Florida. I've told the band, the crew, Caleb, I've told everybody that. I don't know why, but it was just like top notch
It
pizza.
just hit the spot.
And where was this at?
It did. St. Augustine,
Okay.
Florida. I can't remember. Muscadine Bloodline was playing the show. Maybe I could ask Charlie or Gary, but
Well, I'm gonna see them
they
next
ate
month.
it too.
I'm gonna see them next month, so I'll have to ask them about this
Perfect.
pizza in St. Augustine and see what they say.
It was because we all had it, and Caleb went in, got us like 5 or 6 for the crew and the band, and everybody was like, "Damn, this pizza is phenomenal!" And it was like mushroom and onion. I feel like it was just great. So I think that's like my favorite pizza.
I love that, man. I love that. We live in Chicago, so I gotta be partial to Chicago. So
yeah, I'm all for the deep dish because Chicago's deep dish, right?
Yep, Luminati.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Deep dish pizza is probably my favorite, just in general pizza. So I'll give it that.
All right. So, what's the strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road? You've been on the road with Travis. You've been out there. What's the strangest thing you've ever seen?
We were coming home. This was around Christmas time, and this is like the last show. On the last show of the run, everybody gets pretty tuned up. Like if it's like a 3-day thing, like the third show, everybody gets tuned up, stays up all night. You know how it goes. And we're sitting dead stopped in traffic, and like I said, it's around Christmas time. We go to the front of the bus, and we're sitting with Chuck, our driver, and we're all sitting up there, and there's this 18-wheeler. And no one ended up being hurt, so I can laugh and tell the story. But 18-wheeler turned over in the road, and the top part got sheared open like a beer can. Sheared open, and it was all kinds of like just processed food. And it was all over the place. And they had a bobcat with a bucket going down the road, picking this stuff up in rows and putting it on the side of the road. And Derek, our lighting guy, he FaceTimes his son. He goes, Santa Claus done dropped off. He done had a wreck over here, wherever the hell we were at. Done had a wreck, and your Christmas present or your laptop's like over here in the ditch. And I mean, it was like sausage and steaks, like all this stuff, and it was frozen food, whatever, but it was everywhere. I mean, just scattered out like you just have never seen. And there was literally a bobcat pushing the stuff in rows off the side of the road. So that's definitely the craziest thing I've ever seen. And to see a 18-wheeler with the top shredded off like a beer can was just nuts to see anyway.
That's every time I'm on the road and see an 18-wheeler, it's always something crazy. But
yeah.
Man. All right, our next one, let's see, where was I at? Number 5. All right, would you rather celebrate Christmas or Halloween all year round?
Christmas.
All right, that's a good one. What's one thing people buy you feel is a waste of money?
Wow, one thing people buy is a waste of money. Mask. COVID-19 mask.
Yeah, all right, I like that one. All right.
That's it, yeah.
What's a song you wish you wrote?
I've been asked this before.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I'm going to give the same answer because I still wholeheartedly believe this. When I hear songs and I'm like, I wish I wrote that, there's a million songs that I wish that I wrote because they had a fat paycheck. Like, hell yeah, I wish I wrote that, had a fat paycheck. But every song is like, man, if I was in the room writing that song, I'd been like, oh, I would have thought of this, or I would have changed this, or like, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't have been that song. So there's songs I wish I have like written with people. Like I wish I wrote songs with Eric Church, like got a song cut by Eric Church, like stuff like that. But songs I wish I'd written, I don't know, because if I was in the room, I would just want to have probably done something else with it and probably made it more crappy than it is.
Yeah.
Not really. But like I would have wanted to have done something else with it. But like just straight up songs I wish I had written, like, hell yeah, I wish I had written The Dance, by myself, because then I would, have a fat bank account.
Oh my God, can you believe that, man? You would never have to work a dinner day in your life. I love that.
Exactly. So that's my most like truthful, honest answer.
Where's your go-to fast food restaurant? You're on the road. You got swinging to a fast food place real quick. Where you swinging into?
Probably Chick-fil-A. I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. I don't know if it's a Georgia thing, but Chick-fil-A, and I actually really like Taco Bell breakfast. I know that's a
I like
people
those,
hate on Taco Bell,
I don't
but
think we've ever
there's
had.
Cinnabon little things they have are really good. I've had those before.
Dude, you got to try the little grande scrambler. You can get them with like sausage or steak.
Okay.
That's it. It won't mess you up. You'll be in good shape. It's good. It's good.
I love that. And then our last one is something that's still on your musical bucket list, man. You got to do some pretty cool stuff so far since you've been in Nashville. But what's something that will make you feel like at the end of the day, hey, man, I did this? Is the Opry playing somewhere special? Maybe a Grammy? For you, what is it?
I do want all those things like Grammys and awards and all that, but if I could just sit back and be that like 85-year-old man kind of mentality, like if I could just sit back and be like, dude, I wrote songs and played music for a living, and I don't want to be like Mr. Stereotypical guy, but like that would be that. I mean, that's the goal, right? I mean, like, that's what I want to do. Like, if I can make a comfortable, good living and not have to do something else in music, like that's what I want to do. You know,
family down the road or something on music.
Yeah,
dude,
if I got a house and some, a couple acres and a good running truck and a four wheeler and a pond in the backyard or something, like that's really all it's about. Like Corey Smith is a great example. Like Corey Smith, he's not winning Grammys, but Corey Smith is definitely making a hell of a living and doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I think his answer was a Grammy today when I asked him the same question.
I would take that, like that's what it's all about. Now, granted, I'm shooting for the stars here always, and in Grammys and ACMs and all that. Like they're always there, and that's always the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, like if I'm sitting there at 85, I'm like, damn, I made a living playing country music. I'll be good.
I think you're gonna be just fine. Hearing what you put out, man. Ray, oh man, all these songs, especially House Heaven. That last one, dude. Honestly, that one is the one I've connected the most with. Just because the whole grandfather thing. He was my best friend. He was my guy, dude. And honestly, I've been 22 years without him. So when I hear these songs like House Heaven and everything, and it kind of brings me back. It was kind of funny. We went and visited him, April, I think, a couple months ago. And the minute we turned, the local Chicago radio station started playing Give Heaven Some Hell by Hardy. I looked over at my wife. I said, that was my grandfather that played that song. I said, nobody but him played that song just now. So, but definitely songs like that, man. I love them because it makes me think of him again and stuff. So it's always nice to hear that song. And so I thank you for that. And I also thank you for spending so much time with us tonight, man. This has been a hell of an interview, a hell of a talk. I've appreciated every single second of this tonight.
Yeah, this has been great, man. It was super cool to run into. I had no clue that you were in Iowa. Before getting there.
I looked up. I saw your tattoo. Like I was like, I just got done researching this guy for 2 days straight for a podcast, and I shared a picture tonight of the tattoo, and I'm like, wait,
you're like, I know that tattoo.
I know that tattoo. I'm like, I think I emailed you and Facebook messaged you right away. Be like, dude, I'm here.
Yes, I didn't get the email till way later, but I saw that like the my Facebook, went off, and I think John Morgan was playing at the time, and I was like, oh hell yeah! I was like, that's so random that it happened. Like we're doing this, Monday, and
we found out the last minute. We got the media pass for Country Thunder, so I think I found out Monday or Tuesday, like 2 days before the event happened. So I'm like, all right, I'm out of here going to Iowa. So it was pretty cool though. It was neat. It was a hell of an event. And I think we're going to run into you guys again. I think you have one other Country Thunder coming up. Was it Florida in October, maybe?
Is it with Aldine, if I had to guess?
Yes.
If it's with Aldine, yeah.
Yes.
It's like he's got like 7-8 shows with Aldine.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was with Aldine that same day. So I'll probably end up running into you again then. But I hope the next time I see you, man, is going to be playing your music. So I definitely want to be able to check you out live sometime. So next time you get some shows out, you let us know. Next time you put music out, let us know. We're going to share the hell out of it for you, man. We're going to be in your corner and supporting the hell out of you from here on out.
We got one, Bible and the Braves. We're promoting it. I'm promoting it super hard on TikTok, and it's actually doing better than Raised on Red, which blows my mind because Raised on Red for me did really well. And I've posted, quite a few songs on TikTok and can't really get any traction. And then, dude, I don't know what this one's is like been really good. So that's going to be we're finishing up June 21st. So that'll be the final bow on it on the recording side, and then so I'm assuming it'll be. I'm hoping it's gonna be out like second week of July, probably.
Right. Well, if you're not doing anything June 25th and you're in Nashville, let me know. We're throwing my 40th birthday party at Live Oak.
Hell yeah!
So,
You said that.
Yeah, so if you're in town, I'll send you the invite. If you're in town, I'll let you know and everything. But
I'll have to check the calendar. If we're there, though, Live Oak's probably my favorite place in town.
Yeah, that place is badass. We got a nice little. We're announcing Wednesday the four headliners, so I'm kind of excited for that one. But four nice headliners coming in, so we're excited. It's gonna be a fun event, and if you're in town, man, definitely come out and holler. So, but thank you again for tonight. This was a phenomenal podcast. I cannot wait to edit it, put it together, and upload it, man, because it's gonna be one of my favorites. So today was a really good podcasting day, and I'm glad that I was able to have both you guys on the same day. I'm gonna tell you,
it's been awesome.
Georgia needs a bottle of that water though, man, because I don't know what they're doing. They need to do something with it down there. So, well, Dawson, you have an amazing night. Go get some rest. I know it's been a long weekend for you, so enjoy yourself. Get rid of those sinuses, kind of, and do the same thing. So and take care, buddy.
What's up with that? Yeah,
I know.
Y'all too. Thank y'all for having me on here.
No problem, man. We'll do it again. We'll definitely do it again.
Take care.
Totally.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
Y'all.
All right, guys. That was fun. He was good. I like him.
So,
It was cool, like he said, like randomly just running into him on Saturday. I saw that tattoo. I'm like, holy shit, there's my podcast guest Monday night. I'm like, dude.
It was fate.
So it's cool that we got that picture and it was actually our first time meeting. I've been following Dawson for some time now, and his music has just resonated with me. Like I said, about House Heaven and Raised on Red and all those songs have just hit me. And I've definitely been a fan. So I've been excited to have him on the podcast. And I think we booked this about 6 months ago too. So we booked this one a while ago. But guys, this was a fun night. I enjoyed it. It was a fun day. I'm definitely going to miss you guys. And why I'm saying that is we are off until July 5th. So we are going to take the next 3 weeks off from podcasts. That's why we did 2 today. And we're going to do 2 that week. We're going to have Jay Allen and Hannah Dasher, July 5th and July 7th, coming back. But we are going to take the next 3 weeks off. If you guys are not doing anything, I just talked about June 25th. Come on out to Nashville. We're throwing one hell of a party. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have like 17 artists as last I checked, which is unreal. So about 17 or 18 artists that are going to be playing or showing up on, I was going to say February 25th. I don't know why I was going to say February. June 25th at Live Oak. It's going to be cool. And if you're in Nashville between 5 and 5:30, go check out the Nashville sign. There's going to be something pretty cool on it. So I'm pretty excited about that too. But guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the support, the growth of the show. It's been doing amazing lately. And honestly, we have everybody that's in the chat and everybody that tuned in tonight to thank for that. Because honestly, we couldn't keep doing this without you guys. And we really appreciate this. I'm having a blast interviewing these guys. I hope you guys are having fun listening. So it's just been an amazing journey so over the last 2 years and where everything's taken us and where it's hopefully going to be going soon. But thank you guys for joining us tonight on episode 133 with Dawson Edwards. The passion that Dawson has for the industry shows, and that's a voice that will be here long after any of us. We want to wish Dawson nothing but the best and can't wait to see what he accomplishes in 2022 and beyond. Don't forget to catch up on everything you missed from tonight and past episodes over at Gainin Fast on Memphis.com. And like I said, we'll see you guys on July 5th. Have a good night, y'all.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.